Hi and a very good morning to our Honorable Lecturer, Dr. Chalida Somsak. I am Hasanah binti Ismail from KBA 24258. I'm here about to present our group research paper entitled Factors Affecting Firm Profitability of Technology Sector in Malaysia. So without wasting any time, let's continue to the introduction of the research study. The purpose of this study is to investigate on factors affecting firm profitability of technology sector in Malaysia. Profitability is a metric for determining how efficient a company is and ultimately whether it succeeds or fails. So from this study, we want to see either our independent variable, which are liquidity, leverage, firm size, and company efficiency, will give effect to the firm profitability or not. For your information, currently companies in Malaysia are facing two major problems, which are stability and sustainability. Based on the Department of Statistics Malaysia in 2020, the information and communication technology is projected to increase by 10.4%. ICT industry managed to contribute for about 22.6% of gross domestic product to Malaysia, even facing difficulties during the pandemic of COVID-19. This research is to examine the four factors that will affecting firm profitability of technology sector in Malaysia. Four financial indicators, which are current ratio, debt ratio, natural logarithm of total asset, and total asset turnover, has been used. The purpose of the research objective is to offer responses to the research. The specific objectives are to evaluate the significant relationship of the liquidity, leverage, firm size, and company efficiency with firm profitability of the technology sector in Malaysia. The scope of the study is to investigate the determinants of public listed companies' profitability in the technology sector in Malaysia. The data and companies are obtained from the secondary data that comes from the data stream and Bursa Malaysia websites. 67 companies has been chosen and the data is analyzed using EViews 12 student version. Our dependent variables is profitability, while our independent variables are liquidity, leverage, firm size, and company efficiency. The companies chosen are from two subsectors, which are software and computer services and technology, hardware, and equipment. There are several limitations while conducting this research. This research only used the secondary data that obtained from the data stream. There are a total of 99 technology firms listed, but only 67 has been chosen, while the remaining has been removed due to the lack of data. Next, the research also brings a narrow interpretation of firm profitability since it is only focused in Malaysia. Next is lack of latest reference book and literature on firm profitability, specifically in the technology sector. Last but not least is limited of time since we are only given 14 weeks to complete the whole research paper. Next, there are also several theories that has been used such as agency theory, trade-off theory, pecking order theory, and resource-based theory. So now let's proceed to our literature review. So as mentioned just now, our dependent variable is profitability. Profitability refers to the firm's ability to make profit from all of its business activities. It is a primary goal for all the business venture and identified as a vital prerequisite for long-term sustainability and success for a firm. So our first IV is liquidity. Liquidity is a company's ability to quickly turn an asset into cash and its ability to meet its short-term obligation. Asset that can be sold quickly for the market price considered as liquid. Then our second IV is leverage, where it's used to calculate the relative amount of debt that the company has incurred. It compares a company's total debt obligation to its asset or equity. Our third IV is firm size. In every industry, there are many firms of various size. A firm size can help to evaluate the company performance. Increase in firm size makes company more easier to access for more financial resources, and it is supported by the resource-based theory. Our fourth IV, which is company efficiency, assess how effectively a company manages its asset. Efficiency ratio will make comparison from asset to sales, where a higher ratio indicates that the company is effectively managing its asset to cover its liabilities. In the conceptual framework, there are two main variables that are going to be tested. At first is the independent variables that comprise of liquidity, leverage, firm size, and company efficiency. Second is our dependent variable, which is firm profitability. For hypothesis development, we have come up with four sets of hypotheses where H0 comprises of there is no significant relationship between liquidity, leverage, firm size, and company efficiency to the firm profitability. For H1, there is a significant relationship between liquidity, leverage, firm size, and company efficiency to the firm profitability. For methodology, return on asset has been used to calculate the profitability, while the current ratio is used to calculate the liquidity, debt ratio to calculate the leverage, natural logarithm of total asset to calculate the firm size, and total asset turnover to calculate the company efficiency. For normality test, there is a positively skewed for liquidity, leverage, and company efficiency, while negatively skewed for profitability and firm size. For kurtosis, all variable is left to quadratic distribution since the kurtosis is more than 3. For Jagbera, all variables did not follow the normal distributions, means that the data is not normally distributed except for the firm size. For multi-conority test, the central VIF for all the variables is less than 10, which indicates the multi-conority problem does not exist. For heteroscedasticity, a world statistic test recorded a significant result of 0.00 for all the models, which therefore the null hypothesis is to be rejected. This implies that all the data in this research are suffer from the heteroscedasticity problem. Now we came to the crucial part of this presentation, which is the regression result between IV and DV. So the first one is between liquidity and profitability. A highly significant level of profitability less than 0.01, the current ratio was significant. Therefore, the null hypothesis must be rejected. A coefficient of negative 1.49 means that the relationship between the current ratio and company's profitability is negative. For leverage and profitability, it was highly significant since the p-value is less than 0.01. Negative relationship as shown by the negative coefficient of negative 0.88. It means when the firm's debt increase, it result to the heavy debt repayment, thus will lead to the lower profit. For firm size and profitability, it is also highly significant since the p-value is less than 0.01. Thus, the null hypothesis is to be rejected. Positive relationship as shown by the positive coefficient of 36.56. In general, larger firms are likely to have more profit compared to the small firm. For company efficiency and profitability, at a significant level of p-value less than 0.05, the total asset turnover was significant. Positive relationship is shown by the positive coefficient of 13.80. It can be said that the total asset turnover and firm profitability are related to each other. Next is the significance of the study, as you can see here. To sum up, based on the result that has been evaluated, all the determinants are important in defining the company's performance of the technology sector since the financial indicator has a significant relationship with the firm profitability. Therefore, the research objective has been achieved and the research question has been resolved. In conclusion, the relationship between liquidity and leverage with the firm profitability are negative, while for the firm size and company efficiency is positive with the firm profitability of the technology sector in Malaysia. Last but not least, there are several recommendations for future research. For example, a researcher is advised to use a larger sample size and include more firms in their analysis. Second is by adding more data from other nations, not only focusing in one country. Third is by including more variables in processing and analyzing to determine which factors affecting the firm profitability. And lastly, should verify their result to double time to make sure that they are accurate. So that is end of my presentation and thank you for all your attention.